look good, Zach. Thank you, and I apologize.
Yeah, baby Steven, that's where that came from. Back in the day.
What has surprised you most about the Steven Universe fans?
For me, it's the level of artistic talent in our fandom. This show has a really amazing community of artists surrounding it, between the cosplayers, the fan artists, people who write like one-off fan fiction stories and stuff about the show. It's just, it goes all the way down, and it's. I love that it's promoting creativity and inspiring other artists, because that's what got me into the trade. By writing fan fiction for my favorite shows, by being on the internet and hanging out in forums. I love that stuff.
Grace and AJ, do you have any thought?
Yeah, to touch on the artistic talent, when I'm at conventions and I see people come up with drawings that they've made of characters of the show or their gemstonas, I love it, because I don't have a lot of artistic ability when it comes to pen and paper, so I'm always floored.
Yeah, I agree. I'd have to say the fan art, the cosplay. I've never been in a cartoon before, so being involved in Steven Universe and seeing how passionate the fans are is something that's really exciting for me. I also think just the stories I read, like the fan fiction, is pretty incredible, and whenever I'm at these conventions, I'll always hear like really amazing plot lines that fans are kind of writing themselves, and I'm always like, wow, that's incredible. Like, I kind of feel like a lot of you guys have so much talent that you may or may not realize, that as an artist, to be on the other side, it's really cool to hear your thoughts on where you think the show is going and where it should go, and just your thoughts on plot lines. It's really interesting.
So we obviously have a few questions because we have a lot of fans here. Do you want to come up?
Oh, hello.
It's okay.
Hi, I love you guys a lot. So my question is, do you guys feel like you share anything in common with your characters?
Some things yes, some things no. I feel like, the importance of friends and family to Steven is something I share, like loyalty to those people that, played a huge role in making you who you are, and likewise to them. Steven is like such an amazing human being. Well, he's not really a human being, that's his whole thing. There's a lot of aspects of Steven that I wish I was more like him in some ways, but I feel like the character has sort of, because we grew up together at the same time as the show was going on, that our arc was similar in my life and in his life, and I feel like that really helped out a lot.
For me, I definitely connect with Connie's bookish side a lot. I really love to read, and I would consider myself a nerdy person to some capacity, and sometimes when I read the lines that Connie says, I'm like, oh, I would totally say that. But
Ditto for Steven's nerdiness too.
Oh yeah, definitely. When it comes to things I admire about Connie's character and wish to emulate, it's totally her bravery and her passion. I mean, her willingness to fight alongside Steven is incredible, especially considering the fact that she's a human and there's no poofing gem if the sword fighting was to not be an awesome cartoon where Connie's a badass. But
I believe we're like feuding right now too, so.
oh yeah, that too.
That is true.
Yeah.
They're still upset with each other.
Oh yeah.
It makes me sad. Yeah, for me, I feel like the biggest comparison to Stevonnie is I would like to think is just bravery. I feel like I grew up in a household where it was very important to be a strong woman and really come into your own and respect yourself, and I just feel like Stevonnie is someone that leads with a lot of bravado, and she's very brave, and I feel like she's a very powerful woman. So I'd like to think that I can relate to her in those ways, just with how my mom raised me and just the women I've been around my whole life. And also I think the friendship that lives inside Stevonnie between Steven and Connie is very much like my friendship with my sister. After watching this show and you know, watching the fusions, I feel like I would love to fuse with my sister. I think it'd be a really amazing combo of two people fusing into one. So for me, the friendship that lives between them two is something that I really look up to, and I feel like lives inside me and my sis.
There's a music video concept right there.
There is a fusion video.
Yes.
Somewhere in there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey there.
I love the hair, by the way.
This is I had a hood on because I was cold hair.
Same. Personally, in the show, the one fusion I would want to see is Peridot and Amethyst. And for you guys, what fusions would you want to see in the future?
I've been campaigning for Peridot and Steven for multiple years now. And I had like ideas for what they might look like, and maybe be small instead of big, and be really sassy, and nobody's returned my calls. So.
There's still Tish.
It's like my personal gemstone that is like locked in my basement. I want it to happen one day, but I don't make decisions.
I'm drawing it.
Well, I think we've seen Steven fuse with Connie. We've seen Steven fuse with Amethyst. It would be interesting, and it'd be interesting if Steven fused with any other humans too. I'd be curious about that, especially some of the Beach City residents, like
Onion.
that would be. I would pay good money to see that.
I'd love to see Steven fuse with his dad.
Yeah.
Is that even a possibility?
That's my non-meme choice too.
Just younger
Yeah.
Greg.
I mean, there you go. It's a young Greg, which I would love to see.
Yeah. Could you imagine the jam sessions?
The jam sessions would be so good.
And I think that'd be pretty beautiful too, especially considering that like the whole thing where, I mean, Greg really wanted to be able to fuse with Rose.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Technically, he still would be able to if that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a cool thought.
Thank you very much.
Interesting.
Great
Who's
question.
sending these in?
Yeah. Takes out my phone, sends in strongly worded email.
Dear Rebecca.
Hello.
Hey.
For someone who's currently right now taking theater in high school and working their way to eventually become a voice actor, what would your guys' input be like on someone who wants to become like a voice actor, who wants to work at Cartoon Network or be an animator, someone along the lines of that?
You're already on the right track. I started in musical theater at school, in community theater, and that's the best training for any artist because it puts you out there on a stage, all the pressure on you to perform, and it's not easy. So props to you for doing that. For voiceover specifically, I think singing training, it really gives you great vocal control. I wouldn't have been able to survive puberty if I didn't have a great singing teacher that guided me through it. But the most important thing is to always be performing and making art. Make it your other job, and commit to it every day. Do something for your craft every day.
For just making sure that your voice is in tip-top shape, I also like to do tongue twisters. I think it helps because a lot of the time when you're reading copy, you're just going to trip over your words a lot. And so tongue twisters are just a fun way to kind of make sure that your mouth muscles are working in tip-top shape.
Totally, I second that. And I'm with Zach. I'm a big advocate for vocal training. So whether it's warm-ups, meeting with a coach every week, really kind of figuring out, how to adjust your voice with the mic and certain levels of just how loud you need to be and how soft and the dynamics of what a voice actor kind of goes through. I think it's really important to kind of wrap your head around that and just keep working on your art and surround yourself with people that are supportive and loving and are not necessarily going to tell you yes every day of your life because you don't need that, but someone that's really going to support you and love you through, which I think you have with your twin brother. So you're already in a really good spot.
But it's like at this point, I have no question.
One last thing. Zach, in Steven's voice, can you say this line from The Force Awakens that Finn says? It's a really funny line, but it's during the scene where Rey's like, I gotta go back to Jakku, and Finn's like, why does everyone want to go back to Jakku?
Why does everyone want to go back to?
Why does everyone want to go back to Jakku?
Why does everyone want to go back to Jakku?
Thank you.
Why is the plot taking us there? Y'all ready for Last Jedi?
So I wanted to ask how the bond, how you guys are, since you work on the show together and you're voice actors, how do you think that affects your bonds with each other and how your friendships have developed and how you are around each other?
Oh man. Well, I love going to conventions because it really gives us a chance to hang out and form those bonds because, I mean, we do get to do group records a lot, but it's fun to hang out with each other, not in the context of work, because we do like to hang out.
We were just, co-workers until we went to a convention in Florida together and realized all the stuff we had in common and had a great time, and we became really tight after that. And like Dee Dee is my other mom. She's very protective of me and is always giving me like motherly advice. Yeah, we're all really close, which you don't always get with animation casts, but we're really lucky that we're able to do ensemble records a lot, and we're really lucky that everybody on the show is really cool and we meld.
I kind of am like the rogue kind of character that comes in and out, so I don't get to know them as well as I would love to. But things like this has I think kind of brought us closer in the sense that I just get to hang with them the last 48 hours, which is really cool. So I'm really happy to be a part of the show. The cast is super sweet. I mean, they all are in a groove. Every time I come in to pop in for a recording, there's a synergy that they have that is really fun to kind of mesh into. So the group recordings are kind of the coolest part about our job, and then we get to actually play and get to know each other at things like this. Thanks, sweetheart.
Oh, thank you.
Hello.
What's up?
Hello.
Actually, maybe to get this out of the way first, Zach, I got you another water bottle. I am so sorry. When I came up and we were doing the photo of Grace, I said photo of your water
I was
bottle.
away from the booth,
He's
but I
the
heard about
culprit.
this.
Yeah, it was,
Thank you so much. I actually drink like a ridiculous amount of water, so I can accept that. Thank you.
All right. Still on it or no? I can hold on to it.
See, I've already emptied one,
Oh.
and I'm halfway through this one.
Holy crap, you're like competing with Lapis right now.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot of water. Yeah.
Hydration!
Hydration is important. It is important.
Oh, yes.
This is going to be a little bit of a crazy question, but we're kind of living in this era where all of a sudden crossovers are just happening like crazy. Like, think about it. We've got the Justice League coming up, and we've got the Avengers. If there was like some sort of crossover team that you guys would want to be a part of, like as characters, who would it be? Like, would it be like Finn and Jake? Would it be like Star and Marco? Would it be Dipper and Mabel? Who would it be?
Oh man. My opinion switches on this a lot. I do give this a lot of thought. I still think I'd love a Pokemon crossover.
That'd be cool. That would be cool.
Like
Well,
Ash like attempting to catch Amethyst in a Pokeball. Because he thinks she's a Jinx. Like Steven and Ash going on a Pokemon adventure together
Yeah.
and fighting homeworld creeps. That'd be really fun.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be an awesome crossover.
I'm really stumped. I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to think of what would happen if Steven Universe got crossed with any like Adult Swim show or
Oh, dear Lord.
that crossed my mind. Or like,
Gee, I don't know, Rick. I don't know if we should do that. Shut up, Steven.
it would just be interesting to see the tone because obviously Steven Universe is a show that constantly highlights the power of love and friendship, and Rick would be like, well, you know that love's just a neurochemical con job, Steven.
Yeah. Something like that.
That's a good idea. I didn't think of an Adult Swim show. It's actually fine.
Some of the producers on Rick and Morty are actually fans of our show. I met them at San Diego Comic Con.
Really?
Yeah,
So it's a
like a mutual
possibility.
appreciation thing. Yeah, totally.
Interesting.
My-
Start
they got my
planting the seed.
Dear Rebecca,
We have another email. I would say, gosh, I don't know. This is hard. I mean, I grew up watching the Powerpuff Girls. I'm
Yes.
a huge
Oh,
Powerpuff
yes.
lover, so I think just with the new character getting introduced in this new season, I just feel like it would be really fun if there was some sort of Steven Powerpuff mashup between him and Blossom or something adorable and cute.
Yeah.
I grew up on the original. I love that show.
Oh, so good.
All right. Thank you guys.
Great question,
Thank you.
guys. Thank you. Heyo.
Hi. So I know that Steven Universe takes a lot of influence from musical theater and its songs
like 75% more since I saw Hamilton last week. I'm into it. I came up in theater, but I wasn't like super attached to it. But now after seeing that, I was like, okay, you can push the boundaries in this genre. You can do like really amazing commentary on the world at large, while still being a really well put together show. It's the best show I've ever seen. So that helped a lot.
I've always had an appreciation for theater and musicals. I've seen Wicked. I saw that when I was growing up, and I loved it, and it made me want to be Elphaba so bad when I was like 10. I remember I used to like trap my best friend to like make her listen to me sing songs from Wicked. I would be like, no, I'm gonna perform for you right now. But yeah, I think musicals are awesome. I would love to see Hamilton, but I have not had the pleasure of doing so though. But I heard that Hamilton is coming to Phoenix next year.
Go see it if you get the chance. The tour pass is unbelievable.
That's what I've heard. Did you see it? You saw it at Pantages?
In LA, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
The whole crew is amazing.
I've yet to see Hamilton, but I am a huge stage lover. I grew up just visiting New York City, you know, trying to shove in as many show dates as I could, whether it was a matinee or an evening show, every time I'm on the East Coast. I mean, I don't watch as much theater as I should being in LA, because we really don't have many spots for great productions, except like a Pantages or an Amundsen downtown, but I really love musicals, and I kind of grew up loving musicals. I've seen a lot of live productions that I just feel like, to me, I feel like it would be an amazing kind of next step in my career to do something on stage like that. I grew up touring with my sister, so I feel like just in the realm of being a musician, I feel like I would feel comfortable in that world. The dream for me would be to write a show with my sister where it's like a two-woman kind of act play, and we do something together where it's just us two. I think that'd be really fun. But so yeah, big stage lover.
Something I've been just pondering on lately, musical theater related. The music I'm coming out with real soon it's very like theatrical, and I'd love to like do an album that ties into a musical, and do a whole production based on that. It's like a long time from now in the making, it'd be a lot of work, but I think something like that would be really fun.
Opus.
What's that?
I said magnum opus.
Yeah, the Lin-Manuel style.
Zach, can you talk a little bit more about when your music's coming out?
Yes, I can. I'm dropping my debut single on Wednesday, guys. Thank you. I'm super excited about it. I've been working on, some incarnation of the 5-song EP that I had coming out in the spring for about 2 years. Wrote it all, co-produced it all. It's like super personal to me, and yeah, I'm really excited. It's like alternative rock that's very theatrical with some hip hop influence. So imagine if like Panic at the Disco and Lin-Manuel Miranda like melded together. It's somewhere in there. It's definitely like off the wall, something different. But the single's called War. It comes out Wednesday morning. I'd love if you guys could tell me what you think on social media. Thank you.
Alright, so somebody said my question, so I'm just going to my backup question, which is, would you rather have a cat that does the laundry or a dog that does the dishes? Yeah.
Well, I have my answer because I hate doing the dishes. So, I mean, I'll do it because I'm a good housemate, but I would love it. Did you see a dog? Yes, I would love it if a dog did my dishes.
I'm just in it for the dog. I love cats are great, but I'm heavily allergic.
Oh, I'm allergic to cats too, but it never keeps me away. So I just have like crying eyes and like snot coming out of my nose. I'm like, I love you.
That's really breaking out eyes. I'd have to say the same, a dog that does the dishes, because I hate doing it. Laundry, I feel like, is like a pretty quick thing. It's like, oh, soap's in, turn it on, great, done. I feel like dishes, it's like, it's a time-consuming, it's very involved and evolved. It's just, I hate it. So, a dog.
Excellent question.
Excellent question.
Hello. I was wondering, do you guys ever get outside of voice acting? Do you guys ever help with anything else during the show, like with music, with character development, figuring out the characters?
the closest we go to that, I feel, is Rebecca has based like certain character traits off of our traits as the actors. Small one that's not so subtle. Steven's whole like Italian accent shtick. Peter Pizzapopoulos and Arrivederci. They wrote that in because I speak semi-fluent Italian. And Rebecca didn't know that at the start of the show, and I told her, she's like, "Oh, I can use that." So it's become just a running thing.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I have my job on the show, and the creators and the animators and the artists do their job amazingly well, and I just love when I get to see a little bit of the creation process. I feel like just so honored if I get to see like some storyboards and stuff coming up, or if I get to see a bit of an animatic of an episode that I wasn't in. I'm like, oh boy. So I don't really do much else, but also I'd say my other job is be a cheerleader for everyone else who works on the show.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I kind of think the research, just due to the fact that we're working with such talented people, the research is kind of done for you, which we're really lucky that we have that. So a lot of times, like I said, I come in and out randomly. So as long as I'm up to date on the episodes and I kind of have an idea of where the world is, that brings me closer to what I know I'm going to do with the character and where I believe Connie and Steven are at in their kind of relationship. I mean, obviously right now with them feuding, a fuse is not happening right now, but soon it will be back. But yeah, for me, it's just about just preparing your voice and lending your time and energy towards the show and staying up to date on episodes and reading as much as you can when the scripts come in. And I feel like as long as you're focused, we all are pretty much on a roll now with what we do in there.
Thank you.
Yo. What's gooder?
What's what?
What's gooder?
Gooder is not a word.
You just got burned.
I guess I'm not gooder.
I didn't mean that. So I'm also a musical theater nerd, and you said that you did like musical theater and like community theater as a kid. What was like your favorite production?
I think I have to go like all the way back to the beginning. My very first thing I ever did as an actor was The Music Man on stage. I played Winthrop, and I really over-exaggerated the list, but the director's request, so I got to spit on people, and like it was a ton of fun. That one and All My Sons, the Arthur Miller play, I did them at the same theater when I was 7 and 8, and they were just really formative experiences for me. All My Sons is like really heavy material. And that was the first time I got a chance to work on something like that, and it was really good for me as an actor to be around that, be around actors who were diving into material like that.
And if you guys didn't ever do any musical theater, is there like your favorite play or musical, like in general?
I never did any musical theater, but I did some theater in high school. I was in a production of Virginia Woolf's Orlando, and it was an adaptation of the novel into the play. So that was mine. Yes. Yeah, I went to a performing arts high school that was very, Champs. Yep. Yeah, no, the name of my high school was Champs, which lended itself to a lot of fun jokes like, oh, you must be a champ, and be like, please stop, like, don't say that ever again.
Growing up, probably my favorite musical was Fiddler on the Roof. Huge fan of the soundtrack, so every year busting that out and singing If I Were a Rich Man, it was kind of a thing we would always do with our dad, my sister and I. The funniest moment live on stage was actually with my family. None of my family members are actors or musicians except my sister and I, but for some reason our church when we were living in Seattle asked us all to be a part of a family Christmas musical. And so it was my sister and I and my mom and my dad, and it was scored to a Kenny Loggins Christmas record called December. And we were a family opening up presents on Christmas Day, and it was to teach the meaning of Christmas, and we were the 4 actors in it as a family, and my dad was so bad. And I'll never forget that moment. I was probably 8 or 9 years old, and so that was a really, it wasn't based on any play, it was just literally
basically written by us, and it was a family opening up presents on Christmas Day. But I'll never forget acting alongside my parents because it was ridiculous.
My dad was in The Music Man with me.
Really?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Because I was scared to audition, and he said, like, I'll audition if you audition too. And he ended up getting like 3 different parts of the ensemble. He's a born performer like me, so he was definitely into it.
That is so
Had a good
cute. I
time.
love that.
Yeah, it was fun. It was cool to do it together. He's somewhere here.
Yeah.
Hi, Dad.
Hey, can you see the resemblance?
And your favorite line from Hamilton? Can you say like whatever line that was in like Steven's voice? Does that be great?
Immigrants, we get the job done. The whole crowd went nuts.
How's the afternoon going?
Good.
Pretty good.
How was the trip to Flavortown?
Oh, okay. So, for context, I'm wearing a flame shirt. So, I love it. Yeah.
Guy Fieri's in
Guy Fieri chic is my aesthetic today. I love it. Flavortown. Yeah. Yeah. It was a scenic and zesty trip.
Spicy. All right, I have 2 questions, one for you and then one in general. All right. So for you guys, what's a strong area of yours, and how did you explore it to get where you are?
strong areas in like talents or things we were good at.
Yeah, like in a talented sense.
I started off as a singer and didn't do as much singing until later on in my career, but it got me into acting, so I used that to get me into theater, which got me into acting, and which got me into voice acting. You have to be a jack of all trades anymore in the entertainment industry because there's so much competition, and people are doing all these things outside of just the normal lane that they might stay in. And that was my first thing that helped me get confidence in performing and reaching out to things.
Well, I guess I've there's like a little echo. I'm like hearing myself. Gotta concentrate.
It's like one of those speech jumbling apps.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hard with the other rooms.
Yeah.
We're not really in our own room.
Yeah,
So
I keep getting distracted and I feel bad. I also have a very big love of singing. That was very huge for me as a kid, and I think also with what we were talking about earlier with vocal training and how that lends itself to voice acting, because I mean my natural speaking voice is pretty close to Connie, but it's not exactly. I kind of have to get a little more excited and a little more up here, and that is a skill that I have because of knowing how to sing and being able to know how to hit certain notes. And so with voiceover, I kind of think of it in the same way, especially with cartoons. So
yeah, it's kind of cool because all three of us on this panel are singers, and I feel like we kind of started out that way, and then it helped us kind of enter into a voice world. And I feel like it's all about inflections and rhythm and also just tonality and where you're placing your voice at a certain point. If you have a little nasal to your voice, or if you need to kind of pitch it up a little bit. And I feel like being a singer has really helped enforce that when you're in a booth. But one thing that I feel like I kind of studied as a kid, just starting acting early, was really focusing on being a good listener, whether that was just in everyday life, just hanging out with people, or in interviews, or other people that I work with. I feel like that really lends itself to acting. You have to be a really strong listener with acting. It's so important, and I feel like a lot of people are just ready to react instead of really kind of taking in what's happening on the other side. So I think that's really, really important, and I think that's something that I wouldn't say is like a talent, but it is something I worked on for many years that I feel like has kind of lent itself to other parts of the industry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And this question is for
we actually have a line. So I'm sorry, I'm gonna...
Do you mean Genji?
I don't play Overwatch because of my crippling League of Legends addiction that I had to stop on.
Thank you.
I'm gonna be the mean person because we have a line. Please limit it to one question because we have 3 awesome guests who have good answers.
Well, that's good because I only have one question. Will you share this jam with me?
Oh my god! I love that!
Yes.
Yes!
Jelly buds. Ooh, prickly pear cactus jelly and green chili pepper jelly. Nice. I'm excited to try prickly pear cactus jelly.
too.
I've never had that.
Thanks, Arizona.
Yeah, those are like, I think they're like special to Arizona. Like the prickly pear is off of this like barrel, kind of a barrel-looking cactus. You like pick the pears off on top and you make the jelly.
That's so cool.
I brought crackers for you
Thank
too.
you.
Crackers.
Okay, perfect.
I have crackers.
Come hang out with us at our booth so
Actually,
you can
if-
snack.
Yeah, can you please give that to them at the booth later? They're going to be going back, and then okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we'll be there.
I'll supply the jam. We'll bring it over.
By the way,
Thank
just
you.
shouting out, this one plays the ukulele like nobody's business.
Yeah, she's super
We jammed
talented.
yesterday.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
She sang for all of us and played.
Yes.
It's very impressive. Thank you.
Hi. So my big question for you guys is, because I cry like every episode because I'm a loser, but
It's hard not
Lucy.
to.
how emotional do you guys get? Like, what's the most emotional you've ever been during recording?
Ooh.
There's so many like crying scenes. It's hard to. Storm in the Room gets up there. That episode was because he's trying so hard for it to be real, and he just knows it's not the whole time. And like Rebecca was like, I want you to have that in the back of your head, even in the beginning when you think everything's okay. You know, just make it slightly off. Like you know something's up, and you know that it's not real. And that was really, really depressing because he didn't want to acknowledge it at first. That one and the end of Bismuth was really rough too, where he's like fighting her but trying not to hurt her. But what she wants to do is like so drastic. It was an intense couple of episodes.
A lot of the time it's interesting because it's almost like you're turning a light switch on and off with the emotional scenes. Like I'm screaming about like how Steven, like when I'm like, Steven, don't go, like all this stuff, and I'll just be like, okay, try it again, okay, and then I'll like get super like emotional again. I'll be like, oh, another way. But sometimes certain stuff just really stays with me. I think it was what was the episode? What was the name? When I kept trying to call you and you wouldn't answer the phone.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, well,
Someone out there knows, I'm sure. Full disclosure.
Full disclosure, yes. So I remember in that episode, after I was recording all this stuff about how I was like trying not to lose Steven as a friend, I remember just being like really choked up a little bit after that. Like after the recording, being like, "Wow, I'm like emo right now. Like I'm like it's gonna take me a minute." But yeah, yeah.
Did you see Dee Dee on the panel at LA Comic Con?
No.
She described the show as emo, like thinking that it was just short for emotional. And Michaela and I were like, yeah, Steven Universe listens to a lot of 2005 pop punk now. And we had a thing about it.
I think for me, I probably get the most emotional over the songs. There's just something about what music just does to me. I use music a lot as a tool if I need to get emotional for work. So if I have to do like a scene that's really emotional, I'll listen to like a sad Jeff Buckley song, or like I just feel like music is really an inspiring tool. So for me, I get really emotional just depending on the lyrics Rebecca's written. Like I remember tearing up a little bit during singing like the first verse of Here Comes a Thought. And I just feel like mindful education, like just the thought process that goes into that kind of episode, and something about singing with Estelle, like I just feel like I melted singing that song. That's probably what brought me tears. Yeah. Please.
Okay, we'll
love
see you
that.
there then. What's up, dude?
Hi.
I have 2 questions.
Make it a good one.
Will Square Dot ever be in the episode?
Man, I hope so. It's so funny. Square Dot's from the game, if you guys haven't played Save the Light. I hope so. She's like even sassier than our Peridot. Spicy little Dorito.
Ooh, spicy. What's your other question, bud?
Will OKKO ever be in Steven Universe?
That'd be good.
Yes.
I like hate the OKKO art style.
I can't say any more than that.
So much.
You'll have to look closely, but yes.
It's one of the games.
It's the shows are sort of dating because it's Rebecca and Ian, so there's little references hidden in there. I don't know if any of them have been on air yet, but it's little Easter egg type stuff. So if you look for it, it'll be there. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Great questions.
Thank you.
So, during the show, you have to work with a lot of different your characters have to work with a lot of different characters. Which is your favorite voice actor to record with?
Oh dear.
That's like picking favorite family members. Dangerous territory.
I mean, I will say, whenever Estelle can make it to a group record, that's always really exciting because I don't get to record with Estelle that often, so that's always fun. But it's not that everyone else. It's art. Like it's Estelle.
Someone I don't see often that I love working with is Zachary Steele, who voices Ronaldo. He's like a stand-up comic, and he's just so funny, like off the cuff, and like making sassy comments after he records lines. He's a joy to work with. And Eugene Cordero as well, who plays Jamie, is a riot in the booth.
I was gonna say the episode where he was writing Garnet a love letter. That was a hoot. That was a hoot.
It's hard to pick, but I feel like a standout moment for me recording was with Kimberly, who plays Jasper.
Yeah.
I think probably our fight scene in Crack the Whip is something that stands out for me. Just the screaming against each other and just the roaring and the fight sounds that we both had to do against each other was a really fun thing. So, and it came to life in a really cool way in the episode. So that kind of sticks out for me.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I had a question, but I don't have one.
So I know you guys go to California conventions a lot, and I don't know if you guys have gone to New York, but
Yeah, we just did this last New York Comic Con this year.
will you guys or any other voice actors from Steven Universe plan on coming back to Phoenix?
This is our first time here, but I'm definitely open to it. Hit me up. That'll be great.
Yeah, so far I'm really enjoying Phoenix. I like it lots.
Also,
Same.
Yeah,
Oh
sorry.
no, go for it.
My brother lives in Tucson. He's actually, is anybody from Tucson here? He's the weatherman, Wes Callison. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he is. And he just had a baby with my sister-in-law, my new nephew. He's like 3 weeks old, so any excuse to get down here and see him,
That's so sweet.
it's definitely good.
I love that. I'm coming back for more jam. That's awesome.
Hey.
All right. I'm not gonna look at you guys directly because I'm not worthy. But my question is, you guys have had some really big guest voices: Patti LuPone, Natasha Lyonne, and Uzo Aduba from Orange is the New Black, Jinx Monsoon from RuPaul's Drag Race, Nicki Minaj. Who is your guys' dream voice actress? Who would they voice? What would it be? A fusion, a gem? How would you guys? And who would you want? Maybe Ali Machalka?
Oh, that's cool.
That would be cool.
I like it.
This is kind of obscure. I'm a really big fan of a band called Hiatus Coyote. Does anyone know them? Yeah, it's like amazing, like jazz, soul, funk, mashup music, and their lead singer, her name is Nye Palm. She's an Australian gal, and she's got a very distinct, incredible voice. And if she, were to ever come on the show and like co-write a song for her, whatever her character would be, it would just be magical. She's very enchanting on the track.
Well, my answer, she's already actually been on the show, but Amy Mann as Opal is just, I love Amy Mann. So if I could ever, I feel like I have an in now, like if I ever met her, I'd be like, so, we've been on the same show. Hi, I'm Grace. Dream come true, so.
That's me with Nicki Minaj.
There's been some pretty wicked guest cast. I I think for me, like probably, I mean, it's maybe far-fetched, but like Lady Gaga's a fusion would be insane.
That would be so.
Like I think that'd be amazing. And who knows? Like she could be a huge fan of the show.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah, like T-Pain's a fan of the show. Chance the Rapper's a fan of the show.
Really?
Yeah. And this is a
Princess
funny
Nokia.
What is it?
Princess Nokia. Have you? Okay, I'll send you some music.
I was at LA Comic Con and Billy Bob Thornton was there signing for some other stuff, and the convention promoter was like, "Hey, Billy Bob Thornton's daughter's a big fan of the show. She wants to meet you guys." I was there with Dee Dee and Michaela, and we're like, "Yeah, for sure." So we talked to her for a while. She's got a nice Garen cosplay on, and all of a sudden Billy comes over to me. He's like, "Oh man, we love your show. We've seen every episode. Can you do that quote for the one episode? That's my favorite one." Turns out Billy Bob Thornton is like just as big of a, if not bigger, fan of Steven Universe than his 12-year-old daughter. And I was just that was amazing to me. So there's a lot of people that enjoy the show that you wouldn't expect.
Yeah.
What was the quote?
I don't remember.
Oh, man.
What was it? It was something obscure that I'd never been asked to do before. I don't remember what it was. I'm sorry.
Good question.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yo.
If you were on any cartoon of your choice, who would you want to voice in the?
Oh man. Whatever Rebecca Sugar's next project is. If they ever rebooted Codename Kids Next Door, I'd love to be a part of it. That was my absolute favorite growing up. I know Galactic KND is on the internet, and I know the creator's been working on that, so there's definitely some hope there to see it again.
Oh man, that's great.
My favorite cartoon right now, other than Steven Universe, is BoJack Horseman.
Yeah.
And if I could ever land a voice acting role on that, I would like bow down.
That's my
I would
idea.
love to see that. I just started
Love that
watching
show.
BoJack and it's hilarious.
I had no shot, but my dream was to play Mrs. Frizzle in the reboot. I grew up watching that show and reading those books, and
I think we all
it's the best. When I heard they were rebooting it, I was like, that's my dream. But no, it didn't happen.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Please let this be a no.
A reboot of the reboot? Yeah.
Okay, so is there any scenes that you guys had to voice that you really thought if you were in that position you would not do?
What do you mean would not do? Like as if I was.
Like if you were in the position Steven was, where he could sacrifice himself to save everybody, would you do that?
That's a hard hypothetical. It's because that's such a huge decision. Steven's done some things, especially in the earlier episodes, where he was like very naive and like quick to trust people that he shouldn't have. Navy. But I don't know. I feel like I'm already like super jaded, so I wouldn't have that same issue. But all the decisions Steven makes, they're generally I feel the right ones.
Honestly, to the best of my memory right now, Connie's pretty level-headed, and we pretty much are on like the same page with certain stuff. Like, I was gonna say, I wouldn't have lied to my parents about this whole magical boy that I was hanging out with and how my eyesight got magically healed and all of that. And I'm thinking about that as I'm saying that, and I'm like, I can't say that I wouldn't have gone the Connie route, but the angel on my shoulder is like, no, always be honest. Honesty is always the right answer. And then the other side of my shoulder, I'm like, no.
Also, why are you mad at me though?
Well,
why you gotta be so?
Stay tuned to find out more.
I'm half human.
I do want you guys to just make up right now. Like, it's making me really sad. Gosh, I don't know. I mean, I think I would say I'm not a great driver, so honestly, Beach City Drift, I don't think I would have said yes to Kevin's race. That's one thing I wouldn't have said yes to.
Yeah.
That was the angry Steven side of Savani.
It totally was. It was like, oh, we're so gonna win this.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm like, nope, wouldn't have had a shot. Kevin would have definitely won if that was AJ driving. It's a good thing it was Stefani.
Every time I meet a Kevin now, that's my first thought, and I have to be like,
don't judge.
Kevin! Now that I'm thinking back, and I'm like, okay, Connie has had some interesting choices. I'm thinking about that one episode where Fusion Cuisine, when she's like, we're gonna run away together. Oh, I know all this stuff about sustainable farming practices, and I'm like, hold on, slow your roll. You're 12 3/4.
Sustainable farming.
that whole episode is just like out of control.
Thank you.
Hey.
A very tall person approaches. Kind of story real quick is my little sister absolutely loves the show. We watch it together a lot of times, and she was really excited to come see you guys, but she got the flu 2 days before.
Oh,
so
no.
she didn't get to come see you guys. I wanted to know if you'd be okay if I videoed you guys saying hi to her. Her name's Caitlin. Like, could you guys say it?
Yeah.
I know you guys are just your voice. Would you say it in your character's voices if that's okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's so sweet. What's her name?
Her name is Caitlin.
Caitlin.
All right, I'm gonna need the crowd help on this one after we've said our thing. All right.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Caitlin.
Hi, Caitlin.
Hi, Caitlin.
Hope you're feeling better soon.
Alright, so I had her send me a question, if that's okay.
Yeah.
It's a very obscure question, so she's asking an Undertale question at a Steven Universe panel, but you know, it's okay.
And you'd be surprised that's not the first time that's happened.
So, first off, she wanted to know if you guys know who Mettaton is, and if so, what is your favorite version of Mettaton?
I do not.
You do not?
I never played.
Okay.
Is
So-
it?
Yeah, he's basically
Oh, I love him.
Wait, what is this?
What game? What is it? A game?
Undertale.
Yeah, it's Undertale.
Oh, okay. All right.
I believe the Undertale Stronger Than You parody video has more views than the actual Stronger Than You video on YouTube. It's a pretty big fandom crossover I'm aware of.
Thank you. And I'm sorry, my video cut off right when you were saying, can you get better soon? Do you mind if I video that part again?
Yeah, and I want to get the crowd in on it too.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys
Expand
should
to
say
that
hi
afterwards.
too.
Yeah.
I should yeah, you're right.
Hey, Caitlin. Hope you're feeling better soon.
Hi, Caitlin. Yeah, get better soon.
Hi, Caitlin. Get better soon. I'm a fusion.
All right, everybody, get well soon on 3. 1, 2, 3. Get well soon. There we go.
Thank you so much. She's gonna love it.
No worries. Hope she
You're a
feels
good
better.
sister.
We are coming down to the end of our time with our amazing panel, so I think we have time for 2 more questions.
Cool.
What is your funniest moment with any of the cast members?
Oh man. Out of record or just in general?
Just in general.
I think, did anyone see the Pearl Secret Rap Career panel we did at MomoCon?
Yeah.
On YouTube? Best panel I've ever done. It was me, Mackenzie Atwood, who makes all the Steven Universe meme videos, and was hired by Cartoon Network for like day memes. Dwayne from Social at Cartoon Network, and Dee Dee. And we were basically, like, Mackenzie and I curated a curriculum to educate Dee Dee on memes because she didn't know what they were basically, and I tried to explain them in the past. And I chose terrible. I tried to show her Robbie Rotten memes, which make no sense if you're not like with the culture. And you haven't been like trolling internet forums for 10 years. So we did this panel, but it's an anime convention, so literally everyone in the room is like up to date on the latest memes. So it's 500 people in this room and us on the panel, all like laughing our butts off at these jokes that make no sense if you see them out of context. But by the end of the panel, she was laughing with us too, because Mackenzie did like a really good job of explaining it. But it was just uproariously funny.
While that was going on, I was so mad that I couldn't be there because they also scheduled a game of Quiplash. I don't know if you guys know that game, but it's super funny. And I was playing it with Michaela, who's Amethyst, and then Shelby, Peridot, and Jen Lapis. And 2 other voice actors that J. Michael Tatum and I
Oh,
Yeah,
Tatum was so
yeah, and I forget who the other person was because this was a while ago now. But I think he was from in Overwatch, voiceover actor. So, but he was really funny. But anyway, while this was all going on, it was a huge, giant Quiplash game with an audience that was voting on everything, and it was just so funny because we were on like not Cartoon Network, and I remember Shelby just had the dirtiest answers to all of the questions. I was like, oh my God, she went there! But yeah, so she was a fan favorite amongst the audience votes.
Let's see, I'm trying to think funniest moment. I haven't really had as many as you guys, but I do feel like realizing that Zach and I were both on the same show outside of Steven Universe was a kind of one of those like aha funny moments in the sense that like we showed up on set and I was like, Zach, you're on the Goldbergs? And so that was kind of a cool moment.
Yeah, we had sort of like a reunion that day on set.
Yeah, it was cute.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Last question.
Hey again.
Hey.
So my question's kind of like for two fandoms, I guess. So if there could be some kind of like video game crossover with Steven Universe, what would you want it to be?
Now you're speaking my language. I'd love Steven to be a playable support in League of Legends. I'm a support main, because I hate myself and I want to hate my friends more.
True that.
But he's perfect. Like his kit would be perfectly suited to that.
So my first thought, my instant reaction to that would be like if you had Super Smash Bros.
Yeah.
But the cast of Steven Universe. So fun. Like I
Write
like
that
who would you
email.
main? I would like main Amethyst probably. Or Garnet. Oh, it'd be so fun. Like,
Hey, we got our console game. Sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, has anyone played the console game?
Sweet. Cool.
Awesome.
It was really fun to do. I
Yeah.
haven't done a ton of video games, but it was definitely different. Cool.
Do you have one?
I'd have to say, I mean, you kind of nailed it with Super Smash Brothers. I feel like anything Mario Kart or like Donkey Kong, like those are like classic favorites for me. So I think a crossover with Steven with those would be rad. I'm not a massive gamer, so I'm not totally like in the know with that world. But something I think with Mario Kart would be genius.
I think any sort of party game would
Yeah.
be fun with the cast because then
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Or even like a card game, like Cards Against Humanity, but Steven Universe related.
Yo, somebody brought me a fan-made pack from the subreddit at my last convention.
Really?
Yeah, they brought it to me and were showing me all the cards, and
We should play.
it's dirty.
I'm sure it's really dirty.
It's like I want this.
I'm into it.
Yeah, it's something the Steven Universe Reddit forum made.
It's called Dirty Universe.
That sounds like the name of an obscure anime from 1995.
Thank you.
Great question.
Thank you. Thanks.
On that amazing Dirty Universe note, I would like to say thank you so much for spending time with us today. I'm sure I can speak on behalf of everybody. I am also a huge fan of the show.
Thank you.
You guys make me cry all the time. In the best way. So they are going to be back signing over on the exhibitor floor at 2:45. So we'll give them like a few minutes breather. And please extend your warmest thanks to them.
Thank you for the awesome question.
If you haven't already, check out the new episodes that just got posted.
Did you get that on camera?
I guess you did.
I think I got that on camera.
And I'm gonna be egotistical for 1 second. Check out that single on Wednesday. It would mean a lot to me. Thank you.
Can't forget the chance.
Get the jam.